Hello and welcome to the Rock Your Voice podcast. Vocal coaching tips that will transform your voice, interviews that will inspire, industry guidance, and so much more. Without further ado, let's get on with the show. Hello, I'm excited for today's topic because I really hope that this can help you to establish your goals, but most importantly, reflect on your achievements and realize how far you have come. It's so important to take the time to see where your hard work is paying off. Otherwise, you are going to live your life on a treadmill and you are going to start really resenting the industry that you've set yourself up to be a part of. The music industry is really unique in the sense that you don't get certificates and rewards as you keep going. It's not like being a lawyer or being an accountant or someone in the medical field. You don't, work towards something and get your certification and boom, there you are. You've done it. You're doing it. You also, I did a post about it. I didn't do a podcast. I might carry on and do the podcast afterwards. But I did want to also talk about awards because yes, awards are really nice way to receive recognition for all the work and effort that you've put in. But like I'm going to cover in the next podcast, awards are things that artists basically nominate themselves for and are voted on by their peers. So it's not necessarily a true validation of the success that you've achieved or a significant sign of all the work that you've put in. Anyway, that's going to be my next podcast episode. I'm trying to be really careful here because there's something that I saw online recently, an artist that I've known for many, many years. And I've seen her career evolve from the big, from a higher level, from the big picture, from when, we'd all support her at a small bar and now going on to playing world famous stages. But she was kind of like, why am I doing this? Why do I always feel like I'm left behind? When is my chance and everything? And it made me feel really sad because I was just like, oh my gosh, if you were to look at your career now from back then, if we were sitting here 15 years ago and looked at where you are now, you wouldn't believe it. But here you are still putting that stress on yourself to be something more, to be bigger, to be working harder. And it just breaks my heart that you can't sit back and be like, fuck yeah, I've done it. I'm doing it. I'm in it. But I think that is the challenge, is because when you are in it, you don't see it. And if you are in it at a certain level, you will be surrounded by a team whose income depends on you being the next thing, doing the next thing. We've talked about this before, the next, what's happening next. It's like, can we not just celebrate my platinum selling single? Like, no, we have to talk about the next one. So there's a certain level that you get to where it is that pressure where you have a glorious Instagram moment with a cake and a sparkler and some champagne or whatever. And it's like, woo, we did it. And before the sparklers even died out, the pressure and the doubt and the fear of, will I do it again? Will I be able to be as successful again? Will I be able to reach this level again? Oh my gosh, look over there. Someone else is just doing it the same, or someone else has just released a AA side and they're doing even better than me. This is soul shattering. It completely removes the entire purpose of why you came into the industry, why you enjoy music, why you're passionate about writing and sharing your songs. It's part of the industry ladder. It's part of the machine. So you have to be aware that these things are going to come and niggle at your brain. Harrison, you are actually being a very good demonstration of those things niggling at the brain. They're just going to pop up and knock you down a little bit. Every time you get a success, you're going to feel like you need to outdo that previous success. Not even just match that success, but you have to now outdo that success. But what's so important is you sit back and you look at where you have come from. Okay? So this one artist that I saw that thing, and it made me quite sad, and it was like, when am I going to get the next big break? Why is everyone doing so much better than me? And I'm just like, what are you not seeing that we're all seeing? And it made me really sad, because I'm like, you are in it. You are success right now. You are successful. You're doing it. What do you want? So really. And when I think of all of the clients that I work with who are emerging artists who are coming into the industry right now, they will look at this person and be like, one day, do you think I could even get to that? And it's like, okay, well, the person who's at that is questioning whether they're good enough. So it just, you can see how it's a real treadmill. It's a real hamster wheel of you have to be mentally prepared for this. And you have to really love what you do, so that when those days come, when you're thinking, I need to be doing better, when will my chance come? When will it be my turn to step into the spotlight? To sit back and be like, okay, look at the things that you've done and look at the things you've achieved. I had an artist development session with a wonderful client. We've been working together, I think it's probably about 2 years doing artist development stuff. And I'm just going to pull up her notes because it was wild. She's like, okay, so I'm going to take a break for the summer, and, I'm just going to kind of reflect and see how things are going, because I'm just not sure how I'm feeling about my music at the moment and how things are going. And I was like, okay, well, let's take a minute to let's go right back to day one when we sat and put down your goals of what you'd like to achieve. And let's see what you've done. And so that when, you're not just sort of dropping out, it's just like, you've done a lot. You do deserve a bit of a break. So we reviewed her goals, and it was like, okay, I want to improve my vocals and maybe release a song. Great. So that was 2 years ago. So we went through her notes and we went through all of the things that she did. So on top of those 2 goals of improving her vocals and releasing music, together we had her set up with SOCAN and Sound Exchange. So she registered all of her original music. We built a website. So because we built a website, she got set up with photo shoots. And then, of course, we had to create her bio and update her bio. But because we were creating a website and everything, we also had to kind of dig into her brand and identify her genre so that she can connect with the listeners who are going to love her music and who she feels she connects most with. So we did a lot of digging into branding and who she is as an artist and who she's going to connect with and who she's going to resonate with. And if she were to open for an artist, who would they be? What sort of stages should she be looking to perform at? What festivals should she be headed towards to go and open for? Where does she fit? So we looked really deep into that, built her social media platforms, and with that we built her following, and then created her EPK. For those who don't know, it's an electronic press kit, so it was sending out everything to people who needed to hear about her, which was it's like a PDF that you can click on all the links and listen to the music and go to all the places. We got her on DistroKid to distribute her music, and then she released her first single. And completely unheard of, she's actually generated money from radio airplay, which is really rare for a brand new independent artist within such a short space of time to be actually getting royalty checks for a song that doesn't come with, the promotion and marketing. She didn't invest any money into a team that was going to promote, market. She doesn't have radio tracking, sending it to radio. This is all independent, and she's generating revenue. She wasn't gigging. She'd done, I think, maybe a few, rare like showcase things as a duo with someone else, and maybe the odd open mic or what have you. But then she started generating revenue. We got her set up on some platforms where she's generating revenue from performing at bars and restaurants and stuff. So she's making money from performing live. She's what else has she done? So and now she's also been invited to regularly host a monthly songwriters round in the city, which is phenomenal. So yeah, she's making money from her music. She's making money from radio play, and she also got, I think, over $5,000 in funding towards building her career. So basically everything that we worked on together, her time with me was all covered with her funding. So it's really important that when she sat there and she was like, I'm really not sure what I'm doing with my music, and I was like, okay, let's look back at what you've done here Because when you're in it, you don't see all of the small pieces of the puzzle coming together to create the big picture. And it's really, really important that you do that. Whether it's like, I'm going for guitar lessons to really help myself with my performance on stage. Like, you don't think about the guitar lessons being such a big part of the process and everything, but all of the little bits and pieces that build the big picture of your journey and your career growth are so important. Because I think now she's looking at kind of people around her at the new level and being like, this looks like a lot of work. I don't know how I feel about that. And what is the next level? And it's, as an independent artist, you are not required to take anything to another level. You can cruise. If you are in a full-time job that you enjoy and you just would like to say, you know, I've released some music, I write music for fun, I do this as a hobby, or I do this as a passion, that is okay. And if you start to get some success from that, it doesn't mean that you owe it to anyone to sacrifice anything else in your life to just be like, okay, now I have to commit to this wholeheartedly and make this my existence. You really, really don't. And that's, I mean, even if you are further up the ladder, you know, if you're at the point where it's like, you know what, this ain't serving me. And I'm not here to encourage people to throw in the towel or anything, but just be aware of what is serving you. And if, like this other artist, if it's like mentally bashing you in just to do what you claim to love every day, just be careful, because that's a slippery slope of just literally torturing yourself, as opposed to getting up there and being like, I love this is what I love to do every day. And it's really important that you do love it, because otherwise it is going to absolutely exhaust you. So I would encourage you to maybe write out some goals of what you'd like to achieve. And then I'd also like you to reflect on some goals that take yourself back 5 years and be like, what was my goal with my music 5 years ago? Or what was my goal with my music 6 months ago? And you might be like, holy crap, I wanted to perform at an open mic. I now perform regularly at open mics. Or you might be like, I never did it. And then it's like time to reflect. Do you still really want to do it? You might be like, I really wanted to release that single, but it's so overwhelming. I don't know how to do all of these things, like the registering the music and getting the EPK and all of these things that my other client has done with me. Please hit me up. Like we've got the Experienced Singer Emerging Artist course starting in September. It starts September 10th, actually. I'll put the link in the show notes. So if you are an artist that is like, I have specific goals and I have a timeline in which I want to achieve them, this program is for you, okay? So I didn't want this to turn into a sales pitch, but I also want it to be, I want you to be aware that this is coming up, because if you do have these goals and you're just banging your head against the wall because you don't know how to actually achieve them, we can help you with the strategy and make sure that you actually make these things happen in a realistic timeline so that you're not wasting years and money and all that kind of stuff. Heck, I could even help you find money to help you get there. So let's have a chat. I'll put the links in the show notes for the VIP Emerging Artist program, as well as if you want to have just a quick call and talk about your career, we can set that up in the calendar too. But I think it's so important to look back and see, okay, 6 months ago, where did I want to be today? 5 years ago, where did I want to be today? And I would be surprised if you didn't find a few elements that were like, oh wow, I've really surpassed that. I am now way beyond where I wanted to be. And this goes for me too. I think I'm going to make this list after I record this podcast, because career wise, there's been things that have happened for me that I never imagined were going to happen. So here are some other things that I really want you to think about. So you're going to review your goals, reflect on your achievements, have some gratitude, take some time, think about, what have I worked so hard for? Be thankful for those achievements and the effort that you have put in, and how you have stayed motivated and how you have put all that effort in. Have some gratitude for yourself and your drive and your goals. Be realistic about your goals. There's, sometimes there's some things that I hear that are just like, I love a lofty goal. Trust me. If anyone comes to me and they're like, this is a goal, and it's like, that's big, I'm like, okay, let's break it down into smaller, realistic goals that are going to get you to exactly where you want to be. So yeah, I love a lofty goal, but make it, realistic. Like, you aren't going to be opening for Elvis anytime soon. So let's be realistic about stuff. where have you come from? We've talked about that, looking back on your musical journey. It's really important to just think about, you know, the first gig, how scared you were the first time you stepped on stage, the first time you got invited to perform, say at a writer's round that you've always wanted to perform at, or to be able to open for an artist you've always wanted to open for, or the first time you went to the recording studio. Think about those moments that were so big for you that maybe now are a bit mundane and a bit more like work, and now you're thinking, what's next, what's better than this, what's bigger than this? But reflect on that feeling of when those things were new and exciting, because that's what's going to keep that drive for you, and that's what's going to keep you appreciating the joy of what it is that you're doing and the work you're putting into the next steps, not just, oh, poor me, I'm not getting all the things that I want and I'm working so hard. Learning from past mistakes, like have a look at challenges or failures in the past. Sometimes it's a bit icky and it's a bit ouchy to kind of review the things that you're like, oh God, why did I do that? Or I wish that hadn't happened. Or, you know, certain maybe like some collaborations or things that maybe didn't work out the right way. What did you learn from that? Really think about what you've learned from all these things. And allow things to take time. I've talked about this many times on the podcast, the 10-year overnight success. They always refer to Nashville as a 10-year town. People think, yeah, I've got to Nashville, I've made it. Okay, yeah, you've made it, you're there, you got off the plane, but you've got another 10 years before people start noticing who you are and what you're doing is generally the story for Nashville. It's the 10-year town. So allow things to take time, which is why you've also got to really enjoy doing what you're doing, because it will take time unless you're an anomaly, a TikTok overnight success. And please listen to my episode with Robin Ottolini, because she'd been working for many years to get to where she wanted to be. Her song blew up on TikTok. You know, she flew up the charts, she had all this success, and then because she you know, the push to get to where she wanted to be for that, because it just blew up out of nowhere, and then the pressure was on to live up to that. And you know, things changed with her career. The label dropped her and everything's changed for her. But she got her foot in the door for where she wants to be. She's a brilliant artist, beautiful human, and doing what she's doing. But things have changed for her career. So please listen to that episode with Robin, because she's a phenomenal person. You can learn a ton from her. And that episode, I will put the links in the notes. I can't remember what number episode it is, but I think it's around the 80 mark. So yeah, learning from your past mistakes, allowing things to take time, and stop comparing. Okay, that was another thing that I noticed in this post recently, was it was just like, why does it all seem to be happening for everyone else? It's not happening for everyone else. If everything happened for everyone else, there would be so many millions and millions of songs flying around everywhere, which there already are. But if it was actually happening for everyone, we'd all be on the same level and the playing field would be even and everything would be really boring. So, you know, it's not just happening for other people. Other people are working equally as hard. Hate to say it, if not harder. But don't compare and worry why things are happening for other people. Sometimes there's a healthy way of looking at it and being like, what are they doing? Who's their team? How are they doing this? And if you're in a situation where you can reach out and you can build a connection with these people whose careers you admire, fantastic. Learn from them. Be friends with them and learn, and use this as an experience to really collaborate and learn from people. So that comes down to like being in alignment with your peers and networking and collaborating, talking about the value of surrounding yourselves with peers. Like people who inspire and challenge you, maybe kind of intimidate you a little bit. Staying in touch with these people is going to help you grow. Making friends with amazing people in the industry is going to help you grow. And staying in touch with it all doesn't mean you have to match everyone else's achievement. Just being aware of what's going on, what the trends are, all that kind of stuff is great, but don't feel like you have to be smashing all the numbers and the views and all of that kind of stuff. Just keeping everything healthy and sane. Remember, this is a really big one. This is another thing that really kind of got me going with that post, was you have to remember that you're 10 or even 100 steps ahead of someone else who you might be inspiring. So my client that I talked about, I know that she's kind of in a group of artists, and, you know, she's amongst a bunch of peers who probably look at her and be like, You did that in like a year. Like, yeah, we were working together for a couple of years, but no one really kind of knew what was going on behind the scenes until that big launch. And then it was like, boom, this is all happening. Here you are. You have released yourself as an artist into the world. So it's really important to think about that and know that people are watching you and thinking, wow, I would love to be where that person is. So you might be playing a festival at 1:00 and be like, oh, I want to be the headliner. But someone's watching you on that stage at 1:00 who is playing in a songwriter's tent around the corner and being like, one day I want to be the 1:00 act. And just remember, and it's been beautiful actually watching, because it is festival season right now, and we just had BVJ here in Alberta, and it's been so great watching. I'm going to give a shout out to Hayley Benedict, because watching her talk about her growth as a kid, I think she was on like the Horizon Youth Discovery stage and has gone from that to a songwriter's tent to being like on the main stage this year, and it's been a really big deal for her, and it's been beautiful to watch her gratitude and appreciation of the growth. So don't be like, or try not to, I can't tell you how to be. There's ambition and then there's negativity. I think ambition is really good, but that negative, why is it happening for everyone else, is a death trap. Like, that's not good. That's not where you want to be. Be ambitious and be like, I want to be there, but you don't want to be like, why is it them, not me? So like remembering that people are looking to you to be like, one day I want to be where they are. And then if they're looking to you and you're like, man, where I am sucks, it's like, that's crappy. Like, appreciate where you're at, appreciate all the hard work that you're doing, and know that people are looking at you and being like, yeah, she's my idol, those are my goals, that's where I want to be one day, or he's my idol, what have you. So just remember that and reflect. So right now, take a pen, get a piece of paper, write down, actually you're going to put numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they can represent either the past 5 years or the past 5 months. But I want you to put down 5 big things that have happened. 1, what happened last year that was awesome for you? What happened 2 years ago that was awesome for you? 3 years ago, or months. You can break it down shorter depending how long your career has been. But I want you to write down 5 things that really stand out to you and that represent success and growth to you, that has been enjoyable and rewarding. And I want you to remember these things. And then you can put another 5 things for the next 5 years coming up that are goals for you. But please do not beat yourself up if you do not achieve these goals in the way that you think, and have your eyes open for the opportunity to appreciate things that are goals that maybe you did not set for yourself, but are opportunities that have come up to you, showing you that there are other things for you as well that maybe you didn't expect, that are huge opportunities, and you're like, wow, that wasn't on my list of goals, but I'll take that. Thank you very much, because I know you're out there working really hard. I know you're out there doing your very best, and I want you all to realize that it's so important that you appreciate what you've been doing and look at the small steps, look at the big picture. Don't get freaked out or overwhelmed by the big picture. Break things down, and please reach out. Let's chat if you want to be, if you want to create a strategy to get your goals happening. No matter where you're at in your career, whether you're like right up there at the moment and you're like, there's more, I want more. Please reach out to me. If you are just getting going, please reach out to me. I love helping you achieve your goals. It is my passion in life, and I will do my darndest to help you really appreciate where you're at, appreciate how to get where you want to be, and just enjoy the music again, and enjoy the writing, the creating, and the journey, as opposed to making yourself feel bad for not. Like, I'm not. So you're here, you're listening to this, you are, and you can, and you will. All right. I'm going to stop now because I need another cup of coffee. Anyways, it's been lovely chatting with you. I hope you have a great day. Write your five achievements out. Write your 5 goals. Break it down to the 5 years or the 5 months or whatever timeline you want. I want to hear them. I'm going to leave the comments open. I want to hear your 5 things, your 5 achievements, because you need to take note of them. And even if they're really small ones, don't be like, oh, that was just a really small one. No, it was an achievement. It was a goal. You reached it. Let's go. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and if you feel inclined to leave a review, I truly appreciate it. You can check out all things voice at rockitvocalstudios.com. That's ROCKIT vocalstudios.com. And follow me on social too at Rocket Vocal Studios. Thanks again for listening, and I'll be back with lots more for you very, very soon.